Hello everyone, Luke for Smith here. It's Monday the 16th of December, halfway into the month. We're going to do Jake Mueller's files and Sherry Birkin, even though it should be Sherry's files because Jake is her side partner in her scenario. But he has a big role to play in Sherry's scenario, so it is kind of his campaign. So let's read his files in his campaign. So Jake Mueller. Jake Mueller is a 20-year-old professional mercenary under the employ of rebel forces in Adonia. Despite his youth, his combat experience is quite high, and his survival skills are quite formidable. His cynicism creates an unapproachable aura, and even his fellow mercenaries consider him to be moody and distant. You can say that. The only thing he trusts in his world is cold hard cash. Well, he's a mercenary. If you want him to do something for you, you have to pay him. And he has no time for concerns of others. He is the consummate mercenary, selling the services to the highest bidder without any concern for the ideologies of the groups that employ him. In other words, only in it for himself. The thing is, Jake is kind of important because he is Vesca's son. Now, we don't know who the mother is, but the idea of his and Sherry's campaign is Sherry needs his blood and needs to get him to the American government because his blood is the cure for the MC virus. Soldiers of Fortune. Jake Mueller spent most of his teenage years as a mercenary, fighting on the front lines of countless conflicts the world over. The first group of mercenaries he joined taught him everything he needed to know about the armed and unarmed combat. His trainer was strict and demanding, but treated him almost like a son, and Jake found himself to feel a sense of attachment to him. Something he had only previously felt for his mother. Who is his mother? That is never answered in this one. We only knew what his father is, who his father was. Unfortunately, that mercenary was actually a double agent who sold out the whole unit. A dick, in other words. After being betrayed by his father figure, Jake put his faith in the only person who had never let him down, himself. Any compassion in his heart was lost, and he drifted from war to war as a soldier of fortune. Like I said, he's basically a lone wolf because everyone basically discarded him, so he's only in it for himself. Bioorganic weapons, BOWs. Bioorganic weapon, a organic life form that has been turned into a weapon, usually by means of viral infection. The virus designed not to kill the host outright, but to transform it into a creature that is suited for combat situations. The creatures that ran amok during a leak of the T-virus in Raccoon City in 1998 are typical of such BOWs. And that must be horrible. It's you turn into one of those, right? You turn into a zombie. Do you still, can you actually see what you're doing? And, do you actually have, thoughts? Are you thinking that, why am I doing this, but I can't stop myself? I need to do this. So, it's pretty fucking bad, to be fair. Usnack is a powerful creature dispatched by Neo Umbrella to capture Jake Mueller. Usnack, or the Ustanky, yeah, Ustank, yeah, that'll do. Ustanak, I think it is derived from the Siberian word for revolution. This creature is nigh indestructible, an unstoppable powerhouse that is sent after Jake Mueller and Sherry Birkin. The creature has a metallic structure on his right arm for restraining targets. Once the target has been apprehended, the creature can use one of the syringes on its arm to take tissue samples from the target. So there's a reason for him to exist, a bit like Nemesis and Mr. X, but instead of just killing people outright, this monster was made to basically get someone, kill them, and take samples back to Neo Umbrella. Sherry Birkin, here we go. Sherry Birkin is a 26-year-old US agent working under the direct command of a US presidential aide. She is one of only a handful of people to survive the Raccoon City incident in 1998. During the incident, Sherry was infected by the G virus. While she survived exposure to the virus herself, well, Claire got the antidote in time, in other words, the US government took her into custody to monitor how the virus would affect her psychologically. Thus began her time as a human guinea pig. That one must have been rough. She was only like 12 years old when she was infected and taken away. Poked and prodded by curious scientists and government officials. In 2009, she was unexpectedly offered a position as a special agent in the employ of the United States. She quickly assented in order to escape her life of forced imprisonment, even though in practice she was still under the watchful eye of the government. That's the thing, because like, she will be monitored for the rest of her fucking life, all thanks to the G virus that she was infected with. She lacks the experience of more seasoned agents, but can still hold her own against Jake Mueller. She is capable of providing the emotional support he has lacked for most of his life. In spite of the tragedy she has witnessed, she still believes the implied in the good of people. That's the thing. Is I wonder what she's like doing now. I mean, like, it'll be nice in Resident Evil 9. There's like a scene of like her, whatever she's doing now. So it would be interesting. Like, we need new lore on older characters in the games that we haven't seen in years. The G virus. William Birkin, father of Sherry Birkin, is responsible for the discovery and research on the G virus, a virus with incredible regenerative and reproductive abilities. The G virus can cause the host to lose rational thought, turning it into a violent creature that seeks to replicate the virus as an embryo into a person with blood ties to the original host. That is why the G monster, William Birkin, when he turned, that is why he went after Sherry, because Sherry is his daughter, so the genes would be compatible. During the Raccoon City incident, an armed group sought to steal the G virus and killed William Birkin in the process, even though that was accidental. Before his death, however, Birkin injected himself with the virus, thus consuming his life's work. Revived by the virus, Birkin sought out the nearest blood relative, his daughter Sherry, injecting her with an embryo for the G virus. Claire Redfield created an antidote to stop the embryo from mutating in Sherry's body, but even after the expulsion of the embryo, trace amounts of the G virus remained in her body. The result of the government's tests on her is that she has incredible regenerative abilities, including immunity to most viruses. Her youthful appearance is thought to be due to the G virus as well. That's the thing, so it's like, when Jill Valentine was injected with the T virus by Nemesis, or infected, it basically made it so she didn't age, and like she kept like her youthful looks as well. So yeah. In other words, if you don't want to die, just get infected with one of these viruses and you'll be fine. Let's see, Mesets. What's that one? The Mesets is a creature that results from high-level mutation brought on by exposure to the C virus. Mesets is derived from the Siberian word for moonlight. Mesets resembles a human-sized crow that has the ability to fly and chase its prey. Oh, I know what these are. These are giant bat creatures. It prefers the flesh of cadavers to living organisms, so it rarely eats its prey after capturing it. Instead, it will release its prey from high in the air in order to kill it. Mesets will then roost over the corpse and peck away at its flesh. It is one of the few high-level mutations that can use tools. It has been known to drop steel drums on subjects from the sky and hunting its prey. Fucking hell. Yeah, you don't really want to have one of them having a go at you then. Just drop a barrel on your head and you'd be dead. Jesus. Oko. Oko is a creature that's released from an organ on Uznak's back. Insect-like in appearance. Their erratic patterns are more indicative of bats. Oko is derived from the Siberian word for eye. That's the thing, I haven't played the game in a long time, so I can't really remember him having things on his back. As for their namesake implies, they act like eyes for the visually impaired Uznak. Oh, okay, yeah, I actually remember it now. Where you are in this vicinity, you can see these little flying things around, and if you get spotted by one, Uznak comes after you. So yeah, I remember these things now. But ironically, rely on ultrasonic waves to track their prey. Their sense organs have shared with Uznak, and when a target is found, they emit a flash and flap their wings at a level that only Uznak can detect. The mechanism behind his shared sensory perception is unknown. Their ultrasonic waves cannot pass through walls and any other barriers. The Oko serves no function in combat, and their fragile bodies are quite easy to destroy. They're basically, you just gotta try and avoid them, in other words. Yeah. I forgot about them things. Jake's childhood. Jake Mueller was born into a home without a father, and from an early age he had to support his chronically ill mother. She could have made a full recovery if the family could have afforded it, but Jake and Miss Mueller had barely enough money to cover their daily needs. She tried her best to provide for the family. She did all she could to protect Jake. He loved his mother, but couldn't understand why she was still enamoured by his father, a man who had abandoned them. To say Jake didn't think highly of his father would be an understatement. When Jake got older, he decided he would become a mercenary, selling his services to the indulgence fighting and the government. He had no love for politics. He just wanted to afford better medical care for his mother. Unfortunately, Miss Mueller passed away not long after he became a soldier of fortune. Jake felt that he was alone in the world, and his heart was now hardened. His only concern was for money, even though he no longer had a pressing need for it. That's actually quite a sad thing, really. I mean, like, he'd do anything for his for his mother, and when she passed away, like, he basically had nothing left, so he just basically pressed on, not having a care in the world. Detention Centre. Neo Umbrella agents abduct Jake Mueller and Sherry Birkin from Adonia and imprison them in their research facility in China. The facility itself is surrounded by a luxurious estate that masks sinister activities that take place within its walls. The estate is protected by heavily armed Garvo and armoured vehicles, ready to fend off any attack at a moment's notice. That's a giant mansion that they get put in. And you got to go around collecting these like disc things to put in the hall and make her escape. Puts you in mind of like the mini mansions in the Resident Evil universe. It's probably what they aimed for when creating this game. Lab report. 20th of June 2011. Finally. Also, we got something like story files now. At last, I've been chosen. The report came back that my body type is highly compatible with the C virus. No longer I will have this frail, crude body. I will be reborn as a powerful weapon. You do not want that. Trust me, you do not want this. There's a chance I will no longer retain any of my humanity, but that is a paltry sacrifice in the light of the wonderful gains. This is what I've dreamed of all my life. I will be reborn. Who writ that? One of the guinea pigs, I suppose. Good. Where am I going? Here we are. Stavlats is a creature that results from high-level mutation brought on by exposure by the C virus. Stavlats is derived from the Siberian word archer. The creature's primary function is to fight off invaders, either by expending a gas or dagger-like pieces of its own body. When an enemy gets into close range to these creatures, they will tend to tail and run away. Like many lizard species, they can climb up walls and crawl on ceilings. I've never heard of them in this one before. Okay. Sherry and the Raccoon City incident. Didn't we already talk about this? In 1998, William Birkin, father of Sherry Birkin, decided to keep the results of the G virus research for himself. His superiors at Umbrella have grown tired of his attitude and sent a commando unit to retrieve the virus for them. The unit's mission coincided with the T-virus leak that had contaminated Raccoon City. The confluence of the two events greatly contributed greatly to Raccoon City's destruction. Sherry Birkin was also caught up in these events, but thanks to the heroic efforts of Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield, she was able to survive the incident. Sherry considered Claire to be her new mother after losing both of her parents. It was Claire's love and devotion that had the greatest impact on Sherry's development, and Claire's nurturing and compassionate ways have manifested themselves in Sherry's own personality. There's the thing, is like Sherry mentions Leon and Claire in the Resident Evil 6, so it's good that she still remembers them and thinks she always will, to be fair. Life without freedom. Following the Raccoon City incident, the US government decided to take Sherry Birkin into custody and keep her under observation because of trace amounts of the G virus that remained in her blood. Claire Redfield stayed by Sherry's side during the time she had to suffer through daily tests and experiments. While it was Claire who provided emotional support, it was also Derek Simmons who became her legal guardian. So yeah, he took her in other words. Claire visited Sherry as often as she could, trying to help Sherry overcome all of the trauma she had to endure. Sherry idolised Claire and was determined to be just like her, a strong, capable woman. Derek was not without compassion for the orphan girl, and he allowed Claire, a civilian, to visit and comfort Sherry, even though the girl's existence was a closely guarded state secret. In total, Sherry spent 1 year, no, I think it's 11, it gets worded weird, in the hands of the government. It wasn't until 2009 that she was given her freedom. That's rough. That is really rough. Like, basically being experimented on and tested for 11 years. I mean, it's good that he allowed Claire to check up on her, but still, that is rough. Experiment log. June 27th, 2011. 5 days has passed since the test subject was administered with the C virus. All vital signs are stable. This is not the ideal candidate for such tests, but considering how the previous 322 subjects died within 24 hours, I'd say that this is substantial progress. He was chosen well. The only setback is that the subject lost his right arm during a lab accident, and the C virus has shown incompatibility to regenerate it. Still, the subject shows potential in other areas that had not anticipated, and will make a powerful bioweapon. It's good considering how pleased he was to be selected for this experiment. This is talking about Yuznak, isn't it? Like right arm being removed. Yeah, he has a mechanical right arm, doesn't he? This is him. 2nd of July 2011. Yeah, it is. I can see it there. The subject has been codenamed Yuznak in terms of raw strength and intelligence. It far outstrips any Garvo to date. It shows uncanny ability in creating and choosing the appropriate weapons for apprehending its target. Word has come down from the top that special weapons are being created by Yuznak, ones that will help it compensate for the loss of its right arm. God, just think, it was just like a normal human being, and all them experiments and exposure to the virus turned it into that gigantic monster. I mean, not as gigantic as the big fucker in Chris's campaign, but still, I think this is like more powerful, I believe. Where was I? Name that I cannot pronounce. Is a creature that results from high-level mutation brought by exposure of the C virus. It's derived from the Siberian word murder. Okay, it's a fucking good way of doing it. It is humanoid in form, but its spinal column, ribcage, and heart are located in its right hand. Oh God. Which itself resembles a monstrous organic chainsaw. Oh, okay, I know what this is. This is near the river section in China. Yeah, I know exactly what this is. Its heart in its hand not only powers the chainsaw, but also keeps the thing alive. Destroy the heart and it will die immediately. Its fragile appearance belies that fact that it is quite strong and is very difficult to hurt. It is not easily distracted once it's decided on its target. Yeah, that's another like bloody annoying thing. Because its hand is so small and it wiggles around a lot, it's a bit difficult to kill. Jake Mueller's infamous father, Albert Wesker, father of Jake Mueller, had a very rare psychology. His body was highly resistant to viral infection, and he was even able to manipulate the virus he has injected into himself, so that he could reap the benefits and none of its detectors' effects. This self-experimentation gave him abilities that can only be described as superhuman. As Albert's son, Jake enjoys the same immunity to viral infection. When Jake injects himself with a solution containing the C virus, he has no visible effects on him. Albert Wesker planned what would have been the deadliest terrorist attacks in human history, and he would have succeeded had Claire Redfield and the BSAA not killed him in time. That's strange, because Claire Redfield wasn't in Resident Evil 5, and it was just the BSAA, Chris Redfield and Sheva Alomar, that killed Albert Wesker, not Claire. Jake has never met his father and knows nothing about the atrocities he committed. He is also unaware of his genetic legacy he is heir to. That's the thing, is like, yeah, he can be strong and he can like run fast sometimes, so yeah, that's the thing, is like he doesn't really know much about his father. All he knows that he's like superhuman almost. A deal with the United States. the reason the United States government took Sherry Birkin into custody is twofold. One, they have hoped to study the G virus that remained in her blood, and two, they sought to protect her from Albert Wesker. Okay, I didn't know about that one then. Who wanted to process a sample of the G virus. In 2009, the organisation Albert worked for fell apart after he was eliminated by the BSAA on a mission in Africa. Sherry was thus freed from the threat posed by Albert and his organisation. The government offered her a chance to leave her protective care if she agreed to come to work for them. Sherry learned on how bioweapons has caused the death of countless people around the world, and she couldn't bear to think of others enduring what she had experienced as a child. She readily agreed to work as a special agent under the direct supervision of Derek C. Simmons. Agent Birkin's latest assignment is to find Jake Mueller, the only known living individual with C virus antibodies, and to escort him back to the United States. So yeah, that's basically what the campaign is about. Usenet 2. Usenet was created to be the ultimate bioweapon. BOW. Originally a human who had freely injected himself with the C virus. Oh, so he wasn't experimented on me because I injected himself readily. His final grotesque form was a result of Neo Umbrella scientists. Even though he is a manufactured BOW, all of his mental faculties as a human remain intact, giving him the capability for coherent thought. This makes Usenet the perfect candidate for carrying out missions on his own. A side effect of the mutation is that it may have increased his intelligence, as he is able to use complex machinery and equipment soon after picking it up. And the C virus vaccine. Anti-C is the tentative name given by the US government to the vaccine of the C virus created from the blood work of Jake Mueller. When the vaccine is administered to a person not yet infected by the C virus, that person will be given immunity to the virus. The vaccine, however, shows a very low success rate in helping people who has already been infected. In other words, if you've already been infected with the virus, you're fucked. Where was I? And only if those people that have not displayed any characteristics similar to the Larvo, usually administration at this stage is fatal. When the person is already displaying Larvo characteristics or has entered the cocoon or mutation stage, administration of the vaccine is always fatal. The anti-C is not a guarantee. Is not a guarantee against infection by the C virus, but its mere existence helps provide a measure of security to the world's population. So yeah, that's basically it for Jake and Sherry's campaign. Very interesting one. I think it's like, because obviously I've only played like bits of it, because I'm, like I said, keep saying it, I'm not really into this game at all. So it's basically like playthroughs I've been watching. So it is quite interesting. It's quite good to read and learn about it. So the last one I'll be doing on this game is Ada's campaign, which is basically a lone wolf campaign. She has no side character, so it's just her. If you're playing in co-op, you do get like a mercenary side character to basically as player 2, but in the main game playing as like single player, it's Ada that you're playing as with no side partner. So yeah, that's been it for this session of file readings, and I'll see you guys next time.